How could a future compact electric vehicle look for Mercedes and what could it offer? Well, this is the prospect to the future, the Mercedes EQA concept. You know that they use the EQ naming badge for the new electric vehicles now. And this one here could be one of them actually. We'll tell you everything you need to know about this very concept on Autogefühl, your number one resource for in-depth car reviews and your number one community to discuss cars. Today with me, with Thomas from the Frankfurt Motor Show, the IAA. And we will dig deeper into the range, for example, about 400 kilometers, and even more facts. Now in Full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go! So by 2022, Daimler boss Tscheche said yesterday, he wants to have at least 10 fully electric vehicles in the Mercedes lineup, or at least in the Daimler lineup. And well, this one here could then be the compact one. You see the front grille, there's still a Mercedes star, but then in the grille there's, it's like a display basically. And so this car could also serve, some functions, greet you maybe, or show speed in some way. So there are a lot of possibilities, of course, if regulations would allow that. Other than that, those small LED headlights and of course a very streamlined function, no opening for any cooling as it's not necessary. 60 kilowatt hours is the planned capacity or the power that will have this vehicle, and about 400 kilometers of the fully electric range. Of course there's no other range, just the fully electric range. And this would actually be sufficient for most purposes, for sure. Of course, the real vehicle will not look exactly the same, but as we've also really seen the first EQ concept vehicle, it obviously goes in this direction. And I would like to hear from you, is this the right direction for Mercedes? Tell me in the comments. 4 meters 28 or 14 foot is the length, so this would be, a real A-class length, for example. And well, it looks, of course, a little bit different here. Also, not just a two-door version. This is just an exterior show car, so there's no real interior we could possibly show you. So we'll focus on the exterior. 20-inch rims, as usual, big rims for a concept car. But I mean, some other concept cars have even bigger alloys. From the drivetrain, we'll have 2 electric motors, one in the front, one in the rear. Thus, it will also have all-wheel drive and about 270 horsepower. And of course, all-wheel drive with an electric drive combined and so much power, that brings a great acceleration, 5 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour. And we've seen it also with other electric vehicles that they are actually quite sporty because you always have the instant torque. Design-wise, you can also see that there's a design line evolving in front of the side mirrors that is then carried out over. Very small window frame, and well, we do know some other vehicles, just thinking of a Toyota CHR for example, that already have this design language in today's cars. More metal, less glass. You can argue about that for sure. And the rear, this is very interesting. It looks like the car would be really one piece. There's not really something distinguishable where I could cut off the rear, so everything floats to each other. I think this new floating design, which we've seen with a lot of electric vehicles, has also something to do, that you don't need the classic hood. Actually, it still has some, and you want to use also the interior space you have available. The rear is probably the most spectacular perspective, especially with those LED lines that are actually curled in this way. So I think it's a pretty interesting idea. Also, I like the white illuminated Mercedes star. Other than that, you see you won't lose too much space in the trunk. This will also be very important, that you have a lot of space on the interior. And in general about the EQ brand, they not only want to sell vehicles, but also services. For example, also power stations, making it also a whole Mercedes electric ecosystem. And to compare how this vehicle could look like more SUV, more crossover style, this is the EQ concept, which was basically, a little bit bigger, still somewhat compact, more going towards mid-size, more going towards crossover SUV. So the EQA, maybe as a GLA, for example, could also then look like this, a little bit higher, a little bit stronger, maybe even in the front. Interesting is here, it's all basically flat, just illuminated Mercedes star. This one is really 3D, and I like the wide design of that. Of course, we'll be forward looking to your comments. Would you rather like the EQA concept or this one here, the first EQ concept, which is more SUV-ish? And in the side profile, you can see that this one here is longer than the EQA concept, and then again also higher. So it could also be, future maybe fully electric GLC, so something between a GLA and GLC. It's not decided yet, also not, the total length. Of course, those concept vehicle alloys, concept vehicle tires, which are not really road legal, and no side mirrors, pure camera work. And finally, the rear, also with a very seamless design with the LED lighting signature. And again, my favorite style is really this white, bright Mercedes star. From the rear, I think, it's a little bit calmer in the design than the EQA concept. Shows us what is actually possible. And I wouldn't say it's not too unrealistic that we see the electric vehicles looking like that. Of course, a little bit less dramatic for sure, that it appeals more to a mass market, but it gives us already an idea. So tell me again, which one you think it's best, EQA or this one, the first EQ concept design-wise? Also interesting for Mercedes to give, to get actually your feedback, because those ones, of course, the idea is about it being electric. But, the styling, exterior and interior also is just about ideas and, the styling, what's actually appealing. And so they can also gather feedback. And because the EQA concept was just an exterior concept, however, the first EQ concept, or you could also say EQC concept, because more comes into the C class or GLC, width and length. This one here is also available as an interior concept, so we take a look at it. Also, how they played with the colors and with the design. Less buttons, of course. We've seen a lot more ambient light, a bright interior design, I hope from leatherette. Also with the illuminated Mercedes star at the steering wheel, and again this lounge concept. So lounge style chairs, wide screen format for the screen, so not two separated screens as we for example see in the E-Class, but one really extremely wide screen. The seats also with contrasts right there, special head restraints. Of course it probably won't come into serial production like this exactly, but it gives us a sense of the future, especially how the car will probably then also communicate with you. In the rear, you can also see again this lounge style, then with the integrated infotainment system or rear entertainment system right there. There are some screens showing the GPS also at the moment. This is the soon see that again, middle part here also with screens for heating and stuff. This one is here the screen I talked about. You can see the information you see in the front, also in the rear then, for example. So would you like to see such an interior in the future? And now we want to talk about the batteries for the EQ vehicles. Heiko Knoth has joined us from the Deutsche Akkumotive, that's the subsidiary company from Daimler for the battery production. Of course, we want to know what's the range and how does it fit into the different vehicles?
Yes. Okay, what you can see here is the battery that we developed at Deutsche Akkumotive for the concept car that you can see behind us. It's the EQC. This battery is, it's developed that it can fit into that vehicle. It will have a capacity of a little bit more than 70 kilowatt hours, and that is a energy that will bring the vehicle to a range of up to 500 kilometers. That's the target.
What can we actually see here? Why is it why is it big right here and why is it flat right here? Maybe you can explain for our viewers which are the exact technical parts.
Yeah. In general, it is a very big area, and that is because we want to place all cells that you need in the underground. in the floor of
Reach
the
a very
vehicle.
flat concept, like a sandwich concept.
Right, that's the main goal here. But between the rear wheels, you have a very safe compartment, and so that is perfect to add additional cells. And that
You
is
can
the
put
reason-
more cells right here, stack them up in the height, and here save the height just to put them on the floor.
Right, that's exactly the reason why this battery has this shape.
And in general, you know, there was also a lot of discussion about battery production in Germany. Is it possible or is it not? Obviously, you're trying to do it. So do you also plan here to supply, for example, the further EQ models on your own?
Yes, sure. This is the first battery model that will be produced in Kamenz. It's in Saxony, the eastern part of Germany. And we have a factory there that will produce such batteries. This is the first one, and others will follow. As you maybe could see, the EQA, we already developed a battery for that vehicle as well, and it will be a scalable concept. So to avoid, let's say, for each battery a new development, so you take the results of this battery and transform it to the other one.
Can you also maybe later upgrade a battery when there's, you know, for example, more available or cheaper one available, or will it be just like fixed with every vehicle? Because BMW has this problem, for example, with the i3. It's hard to put some, you know, more capacity in. What about this concept?
I don't think that will be possible because it's a huge block that is let's say manufactured in a lot of steps, and to update this, you would have to open the battery, replace all the cells, and that would be not, let's say, not efficient. So it's better to make a new generation, but this battery should, let's say, should live for a whole vehicle life. So should be not necessary to update it.
So you think that, you know, because there's some anxiety still left, people saying, my battery dies maybe before the car. But, you know, from your technical background, would you say that actually the car itself, in general, that, you know, you don't have to say anything about Mercedes, just in general, that the car would die earlier than the battery?
No, I guess we developed the battery so that this fits exactly to the life cycle of a vehicle.
But you can then later on maybe put the battery out, and for example, there's some concept where you put them together, 100 pieces, and use it as a battery-saving factory. So
there is a second life concept still in development. There are some other batteries where we pick out the stacks and put it into different technologies. Maybe what is the name for it? For the stationary battery concepts, and that's possible because the requirements for batteries in vehicle are very, very high. And if, let's say, the capacity drops to 80%, it's still possible to use this in other technologies or in other areas.
Thank you. So we learned a lot about the battery technology here, and this will actually be the key element of the new EQ models for sure. Thank you so much for tuning in right here, and give us your feedback, which of the concept you like best so far.